Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, February 21st.
They have come up with a really good plan of adding seawalls from the Volusia line up to Gamble Rogers.
That's Flagler County Commissioner Greg Hansen talking about FDOT's plans to improve the beaches that were hard hit by twin hurricanes last year. Other work is also underway.
They're going to re-nourish the sand around the secant seawall, which they've already built, and that's just north of the pier. They're going to replenish that sand and recover that seawall. And these are really good things to have happen to our county because, number one, we don't have to pay for them. And number two, it'll greatly armor A1A.
Seawalls are pricey, but Hansen says they're proven to work.
Go look at where we have seawalls now. And what happened in Nicole and Ian? What happened? Well, those homes were protected completely, no damage at all, and the beach is still there.
While the Army Corps of Engineers will re-nourish a large stretch of beach, the northern 12 miles still need help.
We're moving in the right direction, and we're going to get money from the feds. We're already getting $35 million from the state already, and more to come. And they're working on that right now in Tallahassee. But I think the federal dollars are going to come rolling in, too. And we need to adequately do our beach, we need, and the number we throw around is $200 million, to adequately do the entire 18 miles of our beach. Well, we're never going to get that. But there are things we can do, keep the money level down, but still protect our beaches. And we're working on that.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Flagler County deputies arrest a fugitive stabbing suspect.
Recently, Flagler County Sheriff's deputies responded to a stabbing incident, and the suspect was determined to be Richard Westervelt. Investigative efforts finally led law enforcement to arrest the fugitive on multiple charges. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
A Flagler fugitive found out the hard way that boundaries will not stop the sheriff's office from arresting him. Working with our partners with Volusia Sheriff's Office, the suspect was located, and after a stakeout, he was observed coming out of his house, getting on a bicycle, and attempted to flee.
Sheriff Staley adds a big thank you to the East Volusia Narcotics Task Force and the Volusia Sheriff's Office for their assistance in taking Westervelt into custody and getting his poison off the streets, too. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Florida's 6th District Congressman weighs in on the controversy over the Chinese-owned app TikTok.
Representative Michael Waltz says the app is collecting data on 100 million Americans.
I don't know how old the parent is, but we would no more allow Soviet Russia to have a propaganda platform and collect data on 100 million Americans back in the 60s and 70s, nor should we allow the Chinese Communist Party that multiple administrations, Republican and Democrat, have said is our number one adversary. And then the other reason, and this is hard to explain to kids, but they now have a vehicle and a platform where they can talk to and know where, say, all of our pilots are located or all of our railroad engineers are located, or at least a large percentage.
And it's not just TikTok.
I also just exposed and have a letter over to the Pentagon asking about Chinese private equity buying up private schools and military schools and programs with junior ROTC programs as well, on top of the Confucius Institutes in our colleges. They just recently tried to buy Forbes so that they can influence how we think about capitalism and our markets. Fortunately, we were able to stop that. So we have to just appreciate, and I hope this balloon is a bit of a Sputnik moment wake-up call, that we are under an avalanche of Chinese state-sponsored espionage and influence operations.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
A historical look at black-owned businesses in Florida.
Historian Randy J. said on a recent episode of Common Grounds that his research led him to Orlando and Jacksonville.
They had vibrant black communities during the days of segregation, right? And almost all of those got boarded up after the Jim Crow era got decimated, so to speak, up until about the very late 1960s, after all the civil rights legislation came.
Jay said that it was then that blacks could go out and shop in other areas, leaving downtown districts boarded up and many of them failing. You can listen to Common Grounds on Sunday mornings at 10 on WNZF, anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, the Espanola one-room schoolhouse. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.